You're listening to the Plain Talking UK podcast, the UK-based podcast written by a passenger for anyone. And here are your hosts, Carl Stebbings and Matt Smith.
Well, hello and welcome to episode number 143 of the Plain Talking UK podcast. I'm Carl Stebbings, and joining us in the spare room studio again this week is my co-host Matt Smith.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. It's Sunday morning. This
Sunday.
should be illegal.
I know.
I think in some places it is legal, isn't it, to work on a Sunday?
It is, yeah. I mean, it should be. It should be.
It should be, absolutely.
Unless you work in retail, in which case you'll be working
yes,
today.
You must be, because the rest of us have to do our Christmas shopping.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
So welcome to everyone who's joined us in the chat room this morning. Just move my camera up there. Sorry,
there
we go.
That, yes.
And if my computer will, here we go, the 18th of December. I should know that, really.
Yeah.
It's the 18th of December. It's just coming past 10:30 in the morning. So it's nice and early. But we have got quite a lot of people in the chat room this morning from across the pond, which is amazing. Because you should all be asleep.
Absolutely. You should way past their bedtime. Yeah.
Excuse me. And we have also got someone in the studio here who you can see. There we go. It's Captain Nick. Captain Nick is still here. Look.
That's it. Yeah. He hasn't left.
He's flying his Airbus here, as you can see. He's got his two friends here on the wing. And you probably, those of you who watched the show, the amazing show on Thursday night, would have probably seen that behind Nick.
I would also like to sort of maybe pick a small hole in what you just did, in the fact that the majority of our listeners only listen to it as an audio download, and therefore that whole 1.5 minutes worth of beautiful camera work is totally wasted. But anyway, never mind. Okay.
But no, I hope you guys who managed to tune in on Thursday enjoyed the Christmas extravaganza.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, well done to Pip for organising all that.
Yeah, that was rather good.
Yeah, it was good fun. I still haven't recovered. I'm not going to lie.
I went into work the next day and I didn't feel very good at all. I felt absolutely. Yeah, didn't feel very good.
Yeah, you weren't operating heavy machinery, no.
No, not at all. I wasn't operating any heavy machinery. No.
Indeed, yeah.
I did nearly fall asleep a few times at work.
Right, good. Well, that's comforting. Yes. If you get a funny shaped book, you'll know why.
So don't forget, before we start the show as well, we have got the Christmas competition, the caption competition that we're running for this year. The results we're going to give out on next week, on next Friday's show, our last live show.
Did we say?
Oh, sorry, are we going Saturday, Christmas Eve?
Christmas Eve, wasn't it?
Are we going to do Christmas Eve,
I think we're doing Christmas Eve.
Friday.
Yeah, Friday I'm busy. Very busy.
So Christmas Eve, we are. I'm working Christmas Eve night, but I think we're going to do what we do.
It'll be morning. Well, yeah, it can be afternoon.
Yeah, next week, Saturday.
And it's going to be slightly weird as well, because Carlos and I are not going to be in the same room. Aren't
we?
No.
Where are you going to be?
I'm going to be in Clacton.
Oh, I've got to do this on my own.
No. It's all right. I'm going to take the satellite with me, so I'm going to do it from my end, and you're going to Skype me.
Oh, right. I've got to do the Skypey thing. Oh, my! You're going to leave me in charge of all this stuff?
No, I'm not going to leave you all. I'm not that silly. Listeners, don't be alarmed. I'm not going to do that.
That sounds scary.
No, I'm not leaving you in charge of anything.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No.
So what have I got to do then?
You just got to sit there with a Skype laptop in front of you.
Really?
And pick some news stories. I'll do the rest. It's fine.
Oh.
Well, I'm taking the satellite with me. I'll have like board.
So you're taking the tower with you as well?
No, I think I'll do it with these things.
Oh, okay. All right, okay.
Yes.
Well, there you are. You heard it first here.
Absolutely. This could be fun.
This should be interesting.
It will indeed.
So welcome in to, as I said, to all our lovely listeners in the chat room. We've got Owen and Ray, Myla, Don Sebastian, the pre-buy guy, Michael Baumberger, Micah, the main man. Mike is in there as well. Yep. We've got Schubacker's in there as well. We've got Tony S in the chat room. Evan.
I loved Tony's feedback. I want to know. I have to ask. Was that the horn that you blew at the end there with the little message for Jeff? I have to ask. You're right there.
So I had to do that.
Indeed. Anyway, yeah. The geek in me needs to know what particular craft it was attached to. I assume some kind of lorry, but
We've got to be on our best behaviour today because we've got Nev in the
have
chat
we?
room.
Oh, what?
Mr.
Nev from
Barnes.
NevTech.
NevTech, yeah.
No, we don't have to behave ourselves in front of Nev. We just have to make
Make
sure
sure we
everything
get
everything works. That's all.
A special thanks as well to Mrs. Nev for her very humorous feedback, award-winning feedback from Thursday night's show.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, it's good. As I say, that show in its entirety will be hopefully up and running for the Christmas episode for us. So that should hopefully be up and running by then. But my camera is terrible, isn't it?
It looks horrible.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
Set on like Minecraft.
I think I've put it on Minecraft mode. It's all right. I think I look very dashing. I think I look great pixelated. If I had my way, I'd be completely pixelated. Yeah.
Really?
Yes, indeed.
Okay.
Yes, we're having a few light issues because we're not used to doing the show in the daylight basically anymore, and it's causing havoc with our cameras because they're on the wrong settings. But anyway, that's
right.
fine.
So we are
on the subject of a show.
We are going to start the show then, as we do each week, with our rundown of the weekly news from around the world and the UK. So if you're ready, man.
Yes, I think so.
Let's go. So, kicking off this week's first news story on the independent .co.uk site, and a bit of a worrying headline, Matt, if you're going to travel abroad this Christmas over the festive period. The headline, strikes could hit airline passengers on busiest day of season. So ground handlers and pilots are in dispute with their employers, and check-in staff and baggage handlers will begin a strike at 18 leading UK airports on the busiest day of the festive season, next Friday. Well, this Friday coming, the 23rd of December. Ground staff working for handling company Swissport are involved in a long-running dispute over pay and conditions. They intend to stop work on the 23rd of December and Christmas Eve. Their union Unite says the workers have not had a pay rise since 2014. Blimey, I can beat that. We haven't had one since before then. Members voted 63 to 37 to reject a 3-year pay deal that the union argues is barely in keeping with pace with inflation linked to changes including freeze overtime pays. Unite's National Officer for Civil Air Transport, Oliver Richardson, said that our members are only taking this industrial action as a last resort in a bid to reach a fair settlement. We appreciate that this is a busy time of the year for UK airports, and that's why we are calling for the company to engage in constructive talks under the oh, there we go. Isn't that typical? This laptop has to go like that at this particular point in the story, but there we go. The strike is going to affect Heathrow, Gatwick, Birmingham, Bristol, Edinburgh, Glasgow, Newcastle and Leeds Bradford Airport. Recent past strikes involving ground staff have had a limited effect with managers covering the duties themselves. Starting on the same day, pilots working for Virgin Atlantic will begin a work to rule. The Professional Pilots Union, your PPU, which represents most of the airline's 900 pilots, voted overwhelmingly to take industrial action. They say they will work to a strictly to contract, which could involve refusing to be flexible in the event of disruption. Pilots can exercise considerable discretion on working hours when weather or other factors intervene. Virgin Atlantic said it expects flights to operate as normal. Well, this is rather worrying, Matt. Yeah. Especially if you're wishing to travel away to see family for the Christmas period. But,
I mean, well, strikes are never good, are they? There's no time. There's never a good time for a strike. But it does seem, the season.
You get one every year now.
Yeah,
so it feels like we do get one each year.
You have to feel sorry for someone because the trouble is, I mean, everybody plans really well far in advance for this sort of thing, don't they? Especially, and Christmas is such a big deal. It is for me anyway. I mean, I love Christmas. Like where you work, I've got a lot of friends who also work where you do. They all shut down over Christmas.
We don't.
Oh, don't you?
Not this. No, we're too busy to shut down this year.
Oh, right. Oh, that's good. That's good on the one hand then, but it's just sort of it's just such a shame, really.
Yeah. But hopefully they'll come up to some agreement that they'll just carry on.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Well, I mean, I suppose if they really that aggrieved, the only way to get the people that pay the bills, if you like, to listen to them is to do something like this. But it's just never a good time, is it? It is never a good time.
So the next story, moving on, is for you, Matt.
Yes, indeed. And as luck would have it, there's a surprise. Excuse me, sorry. I'm just going to have to... Sorry about that.
We're all dying here.
Yeah, it is, absolutely, yes. So we
yeah.
have man flu. So, like I say, if there are a few planes in the air, not in the air this week, that involve any of our guests from last week, it's all Carlos's fault. Anyway, yes, this is on the Independent website. And the headline is, World's Best Airlines Revealed. How do Ryanair and Aer Lingus rank? Turkish Airlines has been named best short... we nearly ended up with a late night version of the show again then. Turkish Airlines has been named the best short-haul airline in a poll of over 7,500 which members. The Istanbul-based carrier beat Channel Islands airline... I want to say... I'm not sure how to pronounce that. How do you pronounce that?
Aerugini.
Right, okay, to the top spot, scoring an average customer rating of 80%. Wow, that is good. It achieved top marks in 2 categories, food and drink and customer service, and 4 stars out of 5 in cabin environment, boarding and seat comfort. Scandinavian Airlines, Icelandair and Jet2.com completed the top 5 of the Consumer's Body Report, while Aer Lingus was placed 10th with 67%. Aer Lingus scored 4 out of a possible 5 stars for boarding and 3 out of 5 for both seat comfort and value for money. So the full, we'll just go with the where are we? We'll whiz through the top 20, I think. So number 20 was Thomas Cook. Number 19 was TAP Portugal. 18 Thompson. 17 was Wizz Air. 16 was Monarch. 15th was Flybe. 14th was EasyJet. 13th was Air Malta.
Best
KLM
one.
was 12. British Airways was 11. Aer Lingus, as I say, was in the top 10 at number 10. Lufthansa was in at 9. Swiss was at 8. Norwegian at 7. 6 goes to Eurowings. Jet2 was 5th.
Blimey.
Icelandair was 4th. Scandinavian was 3. The airline I can't pronounce.
Aerugini.
Thank you, is number 2. And the top of the list with 80% rankings was Turkish Airlines.
Best short haul. That's...
Now, it hasn't made the top 20, but Ryanair was polled at 21st in the list with only 50%, followed by Iberia on 49, while Spanish low-cost carrier Vueling was the lowest entry at 41%. Ryanair scored 2 out of 5 stars for boarding, 1 out of 5 stars for seat comfort, and 3 out of 5 for value for 3 out of 5 for value for money. That's not right. I mean, are they talking about value for money for like the food and stuff that you're buying online? Is that what people have got?
I think it's an all-round thing. It might have been all-round. Yeah, the money or food and seats.
But say what you like. I mean, at the end of the day, the tickets are cheap. So that I don't think that's very fair. Sorry.
So you've also got the long haul,
yeah,
as well, yeah,
absolutely, yeah. So we'll just do the top 10.
These are the long haul, long haul rankings.
Yes, absolutely. So number 10, I'm pleased to see it there. At least it is.
It's Nev's.
It is Nev Airways.
Nev Airways,
which is British Airways. Number 9 is Thompson. Now, ironically, that didn't score very well in the.
No.
In the short haul,
Thompson do a bit of long haul stuff.
Yeah, they do.
Not
absolutely.
Much, they do.
My favourite airline, and I know it would be a bit of a shock for me to say this, is Malaysia Airways at number 8. Delta came in at 7th. Etihad came in at 6th. Virgin Atlantic in number 5. Qatar Airways in number 4. KLM at 3.
Qatar.
What did I say?
Qatar.
Sorry,
Qatar.
I don't know.
It depends where you're from.
KLM is 3rd. Emirates was 2nd, and top of the pile with 91%.
Singapore
Airlines. Yeah, no, very good.
I like that.
Yeah,
we're definitely going to have to try and get hold of all these airlines and just ask if we can have a
trial flight.
Flight.
Yeah, why not? It's anything's worth trying.
So next story on the postandcourier.com. And a kind of nice story here for workers this time, apart from strikes. But this is the headline is 737 MAX pays a visit to Boeing's North Charleston workers. Well, that's rather nice for Boeing, isn't it, to do that? You know, if I was building a plane, I'd like them to fly it over once it's finished.
Right. Okay.
So unlike their cross-town counterparts at the 787 Dreamliner plant, workers at Boeing's propulsion South Carolina facility in North Charleston rarely get to see the results of their work in a final product. But last Friday they got a close-up view when the company flew one of its 737 MAX test planes to the low country so dozens of workers could climb aboard and check out the company's newest single-aisle commercial jet in person. The local propulsion centre, which is located around 10 miles from the main Dreamliner campus, designs and builds engine nacelle inlets and designs nacelle fan cowls for the 737 MAX. This is really cool for the team, said Charlie Hicks, the plant's director. He said the engine parts his plant produces are typically pretty stock because they are getting to see their work every day. But it's great to see the smiles on the workers' faces when they see aircraft flying in that they've had a part in playing in the production of. The jet that visited North Charleston is one of 4 test aircraft that Boeing has for the 737 MAX program, the next generation of the company's awesome 737 model. It's been decked out with passenger seats, a toilet, which is quite handy, and other interior features not found on many test planes because its mission is to simulate airline travel, part of a certification process required by the FAA, or the Federal Aviation Administration. We fly the same routes that we envisioned Delta or Alaska would fly, showing the plane can take off and land with passengers on, then fly off again, said Hunter Block, a Boeing flight test engineer. If there's any maintenance to be done, we perform it like the airlines would. Ed Wilson, a 20-year-old Boeing employee, well, lucky bugger, and chief test pilot for the 737 MAX program, said the plane makes trips with a flight crew, usually 3 hours or 3 hours out and 3 hours back, once a day, every day. Wilson flew the test plane from Seattle to the Signature Flight Support General Aviation Terminal in North Charleston on Thursday. He and a crew spent the night locally and were scheduled to head back to the West Coast Friday afternoon. Wilson said passengers will notice only subtle differences from the 737's smooth performance that has made it the world's best-selling commercial aircraft with more than 13,000 orders since 1965. Boeing has notched nearly 3,350 orders from 70 customers for the 737 MAX, with the first delivery schedule for the coming year. One of the key differences between the old 737 and the 737 MAX is fuel efficiency, the result of design improvements such as winglets that produce less drag and LEAP 1B engines that burn 15% less fuel than its predecessors. The planes also emit less CO2 than other fuel-efficient planes flying today. In addition to its work on the 737 MAX propulsion, South Carolina designs and engineers the engine nacelles for the Boeing 777X twin-aisle aircraft, and more work could be on the way. Until recently, Boeing had been relying on supplying its supply chain for the majority of the engine work on its plane. That changed in early 2015 when Boeing opened the 225,000 square foot propulsion center next to a North Charleston plant that makes interior cabin parts for the Dreamliner. Its team of engineers, manufacturing support staff are part of a roughly 7,700 employees. Wow. I want to be working on their wages department. Working for Boeing in South Carolina. That's pretty awesome, that is, a story. But it just goes to prove how blinking awesome the 737 is, really. There we go. But we've got quite a few airlines in the UK here over the next few years who are going to be receiving, hopefully, their 737 MAXs. On the likes of Ryanair. Ryanair have got their Maxes on order, and also Monarch Airlines as well. They've got they're replacing all their Airbus fleet with Boeing.
Oh right,
Which is good.
Sounds good.
So moving on, the next story.
The next story.
This one's got a rather interesting headline. Would you not say, Matt?
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure why I've been given this story, if I'm brutally honest, but there we are. It's all part of the fun. Yes, it is. Sorry, 1 second.
Issues with the camera?
Yeah, sorry. I was just trying to improve that. I don't know what's going on anyway. Technology's misbehaving today, definitely.
well.
Nev, help.
Nev. Call Nev. Call Nev.
Call Nev Tech. Call Nev Tech. Yes, the... oh, that's typical, isn't it? The Mirror is the newspaper.
Oh, the Mirror.
That we're taking it from. And the headline is, airline passenger wearing only swimming trunks and flip-flops checks in at an airport to some rather shocked holidaymakers. Greg Bannatyne's near-naked journey home after he forgot to bring a change of clothes to a charity swim and dare from his mates. Oh, dear Lord. A passenger has checked... I'm not going to put that picture up before you ask. A passenger has checked in at an airport wearing only swimming trunks, leaving fellow holidaymakers rather shocked. Dressed in a tight pair of Speedos and a pair of flip-flops, Greg Bannatyne was spotted checking in for a South African Airways flight at Malawi Airport. Well, at least it was warm, I suppose. Greg had been taking part in a charity swim across Lake Mwali, but forgot to bring a change of clothes to fly home in. Greg and his teammates from Mad Swimmers took part in the sponsored swim across Lake Mwali, and needless to say, that's pretty horrific. But when the bus arrived to take them to the airport for their flight home, Greg from Johannesburg realised that he got no clothes to change into. Seeing the funny side, instead of lending him some clothes, his teammates dared him to fly home in his tiny Speedos instead. Greg said, "Somehow I didn't get this memo, and everyone else had..."
Sorry.
Everyone else had made sure that they had a top and shorts to throw on for the 6-hour boat trip back. So while we enjoyed our victory beers, I was still in my Speedos. It really spiraled from there, with more and more of the swimmers and support crew pledging money if I attempted to fly home in my Speedos. We did a 4-hour bus trip and arrived at the airport. Immediately we had a security guard inform us that I could not enter like this. After explaining that it was for charity, he let us go past. He went through... So basically, if you say you're doing it for charity, you can pretty much do anything then, by the sound of it. We went through to the first security point and checked in without much of an issue. I mean, I'm not going to read the story because, there's any more than that is no need. But I think the one thing you can say about a guy walking through an airport in Speedos is you don't have to worry about him carrying anything that he shouldn't be, because it's pretty obvious that what he is or isn't wearing. So unless he's hidden something in his flip-flops, let's walk away from that dangerous story, shall we?
I mean, would they still expect him to remove his flip-flops?
Yes, indeed, absolutely, yes.
Mind you, that's a good way of travelling light, though.
Well, yes, absolutely. Yeah, but they don't weigh you, do they?
No.
They don't weigh you. Well, so what's in his bags? That's what I want to know. This picture here, which I can't put because it doesn't fit the screen properly, but as I say, he's got 2 bags with him. So what's in the 2 bags?
Mike has put in the chat room, are you saying he did not have a big package, Matt?
I'll be honest with you, I haven't really looked at it closely. Indeed, absolutely. There we are. What a treat for the viewing public.
Oh, I don't know.
Yes, that's a random story.
That's
Thanks
a really bizarrely
random it's a very
story.
bizarre story. As I say, and the moral that we've learnt from this particular story is that you can more or less get away with anything as long as you say you're doing it for charity.
Exactly. So next story is on the telegraph.co.uk site, and it's something that's been affecting the UK here for the last kind of 24 hours, really, since yesterday. And it's heavy fog. We've had... it's not too bad today, actually, Matt.
No.
It's no. But like yesterday, here in the UK, we had really, really thick fog for pretty much all day.
Yes, I was driving back from London yesterday. It was not fun.
So the headline, heavy fog affects Christmas getaways as major airports cancel flights.
Oh, no.
There is a picture on there, actually, of Thomas Cook there. But thousands of travellers have been affected at the start of Christmas getaways. Thick fog has seen dozens of flights cancelled or delayed. At least 50 flights were cancelled at Heathrow Airport on Saturday. London City Airport was forced to divert all its flights. Gatwick, Birmingham and Manchester airports were also affected by the thick fog, which seen flights circling over the north of the city unable to land. British Airways' flight from Calgary was diverted to Glasgow after failing to land in London safely. London City Airport tweeted, "Significant fog in London is continuing to cause flight delays and cancellations. Passengers affected are advised to speak to their airline." 4 flights arriving into Birmingham Airport were all diverted to Manchester Airport. Angry passengers complained they were stranded on runways for up to 4. I think they're stranded on runways. I think the airline would probably allow them to stay in the aircraft while they're waiting. Graham Pratt wrote that sitting patiently on a BA Newcastle to Heathrow flight 9:30 at a remote stand at Newcastle for a 4-hour delay. I wouldn't really be that bothered really if I delayed.
No, but then you are weird.
I would head up to the flight deck.
Yeah, well,
that would be my first port of call if we were delayed.
I'm off. Yeah.
So Martin Gilbraith tweeted himself on Twitter that he said that Canary and sunshine beckons, but pretty much everything at Heathrow this morning is delayed by fog. I mean, there's not a lot really that airlines can do when this kind of thing happens, Matt. It's a weather phenomenon. It's not something that they can go and turn a suction device on and sort of suck all the fog go away.
Absolutely.
So it's something the airports in the UK here have to put up with on a yearly basis.
Yeah.
But it just goes to prove that weather can have quite a big effect on flying, even for aircraft. Most aircraft have auto land when they can land in bad weather, but the fog, especially for ground handling operations, when the aircraft are on the ground taxiing and stuff, you can't see unless you're using ground radar, of course, but you can't see where the next door neighbour is positioned as such. But
I mean, presumably there must be a point where cut off where it's no longer safe for them to land, isn't there? So you've got to do something, haven't you? So moving on, we're going to move on to the next story then, Matt. This one is all for you. Okay, this is on the Telegraph website, and the headline is UK's busiest single terminal airport set for a £130 million revamp. Yes, I think I saw this, didn't I? Yes, London Stansted, which is our local airport. London Stansted, which sees up to 5,000 passengers every hour through its doors, has unveiled plans for a new arrivals building, which it says will improve the passenger experience. The Essex Airport welcomed 22.5 million travellers in 2015, making it the UK's 4th busiest airport, and it expects that number to keep rising to its capacity of 35 million. The airport saw a 12.8% growth in passenger numbers from 2014 to 2015, one of the largest rises in the country. The airports ahead of it in terms of traffic. Heathrow, Gatwick and Manchester each have more than one terminal. Plans released by Manchester Airport Group MAG, which owns Stansted, shows how the terminal building will be transformed within the airport's current boundaries across 34,000 square metres and 3 levels. So there's a little top 10 here. The 10 busiest airports. Number 10 is Newcastle with 4,562,853 passengers. 9 is Bristol with 6,786,790 passengers. Glasgow is at number 8 with 8,714,307. Birmingham is at number 7 with 10,187,122 passengers. 6 is Edinburgh with 11,114,587 passengers. London Luton is 5th with 12 million. London Stansted, as we were saying, is 4th with 22 million. It's quite a big jump between 12 and 22. Manchester with 23 million. London Gatwick with 40 million. That's a huge jump to go from 23 million to 40 million. And then obviously the biggest airport here in the UK is London Heathrow, obviously because it's got 5 terminals, and it is London Heathrow with 74,985,748 passengers according to the CAA's 2015 data. There will be a larger immigration and baggage reclaim hall, new shops and a public forecourt to create a relaxing and welcoming environment. The airport said the existing building is to be reconfigured and dedicated entirely to departures with more space for check-in security and a lounge. The airport has submitted a planning application for approval. Since MAG acquired the airport in early 2013, we have turned Stansted into one of the UK's fastest growing airports, said Stansted Stansted CEO Andrew Cowan. It has always been our vision to invest in its infrastructure to create the best experience for our growing number of passengers and airline customers, and have already invested over £150 million to update our terminal and satellite facilities, created 1,000 more jobs, added over 40 new destinations, and increased passenger numbers by nearly 7 million. Stansted is thriving as a national asset, forming a key component of the UK's aviation infrastructure at a time when airports' capacity in the UK is at a premium. Our investment will boost competition and enable the airport to play a bigger role in supporting economic growth, jobs and international connectivity across the east of England and London. The airport is Ryanair's largest base here in the UK, and here in the UK, and
struggling there.
Yeah, sorry, my machine went funny there for a minute.
Oh, really?
And it also hosts the likes of EasyJet, Jet2, and Thomas Cook. Stansted has in recent years put itself forward as a candidate for an additional runway to alleviate some of the capital's capacity issues. In October, Charlie Cornish, chief executive of MAG, said, "If we need a second runway in, say, 10 to 15 years, we need to start thinking about it in 2 or 3 years' time," he says. And when I say think about it, I don't mean that because we're already thinking about it. I mean actually start doing more detailed design development work and start to think about how we put the application together. So it's great news for our local airport. Really, I mean, it is a cracking airport. There's no two ways about it. It's as I say, you can do both sort of short haul and long haul from there, and you can fly sort of locally as well.
No, I haven't flown from Stansted for a year or two now, but it's
indeed,
it's just down the road for us. It's only an hour and a half drive, hour and
absolutely.
3/4 drive for us. It's a lot closer than London and Gatwick. But the flights do tend to be a little bit more expensive if you're travelling from there.
Indeed. Okay, well, I'm going to bash on with the next story while Carlos sorts out, because he's had his laptop go down on him, so he's had to go get another one.
Exactly.
So while he's busy sorting that out, I'll read the next one. This is on the bostonglobe.com website, and the headline is "Logan Airport is ranked among the worst in America." Oh, dear. New York fancies itself as the biggest and best at pretty much everything, but when it comes to airports, the city that never sleeps is really good at being the absolute worst. Few places offer as much... I'm not even sure how to say that word, but it looks very derogatory, let's put it that way. Fewer places offer...
Decrepitude.
Decrepitude. That's not a word I've heard of before. But anyway, as much congestion or inconvenience as LaGuardia and Newark Liberty airports, both of which are warrens of passenger misery. Oh dear, this is a really cheery story. These two took up honours as the lowest ranked North American airports in 2016 in the JD Power study of airport satisfaction. Boston's Logan, Chicago's O'Hare and Philadelphia Airport rounded out the bottom 5. They were ranked out on a 1,000-point scale based on responses from more than 36,000 travellers who made a trip. A round-trip flight between January and October. Passengers again ranked Portland, or Tampa, Fla, Las Vegas and Orlando as the best large airports. This summer, LaGuardia Gateway Partners, a public-private partnership with the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, launched a $4 million overhaul of the airport aimed at dragging it into the 21st century. The ancient central terminal building will be replaced with a new structure, and it's 35 gates moved closer to the adjacent terminal.
35,000 gates. That would love to see that. Yeah,
and closer to the adjacent turnpike, and located where a now demolished parking deck once stood. The redesign will give aircraft more space to manoeuvre and help relieve LaGuardia's severe congestion. Yes, New York is still air travel hell, But on the happier side of the equation, Miami came in 5th, displacing Salt Lake City. As in J.D. Power's prior studies, the overall highest scores were collected not by the behemoths noted above, but by medium-sized airports. These, unsurprisingly, tend to offer easier access and less congestion, said Mike Taylor, director of the airport practice at J.D. Power, part of London-based investment firm EXO. One of these mid-sized airports, Indianapolis, was the very top-scoring US airport. Vancouver tied 4 points and was the highest-scoring Canadian airport. And when it comes to a common denominator among the very best airports, it may not come as a surprise that it's not bright lighting, comfy seats, or even the number of bars that make the grade. It's clean restrooms are what generally people want to see. So it's the only thing I would say about this story is it's a very, very small. I dare say those airports have got quite large flight, passengers going through it, if you see what I mean. And that's the only thing is it's a very, very small amount of people. So it's like bearing in mind, 36,000 travellers is the entire makeup of said poll. And in my experience, the only time I ever fill in one of those surveys is if I'm really annoyed with the airport because something's gone wrong. So I don't know how much I would believe in that particular study, because I don't think the audience share, for want of a better word, is big enough to get an accurate reading. Because if that's 36,000 travellers over that many airports, basically over all the airports.
But you've got some quite large airports in the States, so the US has got some really, really busy airports used by a heck of a lot of aircraft.
No, I know, but this is the thing. But because of the sheer passenger numbers, that's what I'm saying. Basically, there must be millions and millions of people travelling through these various airports, and the survey is only over 36,000 travellers. It's not a big enough. It's not a big enough or concise enough list, is what I'm saying. I don't think enough people were surveyed for any of these airports to be overly worried about this particular report.
No, they're still going to be busy this time next year.
Yeah, people still want to fly.
Exactly.
You just brace yourself, don't you? If I go to Luton, I brace myself for the worst.
So the next story then, and I'm back, is on the straitstimes.com website, and that's good news for any of our listeners who live in and around Stockholm in Sweden. So Singapore Airlines to fly to Stockholm from May 2017. So Singapore Airlines will fly to Sweden's capital Stockholm from the 30th of May next year. The airline currently flies 4 times a week to Moscow in Russia, but from May it will fly 5 times a week, and the flights will continue on to Stockholm's Arlanda Airport. There are no direct flights between Singapore and Stockholm would be the airline's second destination in the Scandinavia region. Singapore said that its flights to operate, they're going to use the A350-900 jets and will complement the airline's existing flights to Copenhagen in Denmark, boosting connectivity between Southeast Asia and Northern Europe. Subject to approval from competition authorities, the new services will also include a joint venture agreement between Singapore Airlines and Scandinavian Airlines. The agreement took effect in 2013 and covers flights between Scandinavia and Singapore. Singapore's chief executive Goh Choon Pong said with the new services to Stockholm in Sweden complementing its existing flights to Copenhagen, customers will soon have the choice of 2 convenient gateways to explore the increasingly popular Nordic countries. Scandinavian Airlines Chief Executive Richard Gustafsson said, we look forward to developing our collaboration further with Singapore Airlines and thereby be able to offer our customers new routes to Singapore from Stockholm and also from there onwards into Asia, Australia and New Zealand. The new A350-900 will be fitted with Singapore Airlines' latest generation cabin products, including an all-new business, premium economy and economy class seats. So this is one of the countries I'd love to go to is Sweden. It'd be nice to go there and have a look. It's one of the places in Europe I'd like to go to.
Really?
But it's good news that they're going to have the opportunity to have definitely larger volumes of people coming in from Singapore, because it's quite a popular region for long haul there.
going back to what we were talking about earlier, this picture here has just been sent to me by Owen, and that is what Stansted looked like yesterday.
Oh, blimey.
So that was Stansted yesterday. Horrific.
Well, Nev's actually he said in the chat room, Nev said earlier that apparently there's some delays today at Heathrow as well.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, based on my experience yesterday, I wouldn't at all be surprised. I wouldn't at all be surprised. It was really horrific. It was certainly... Well, I mean, it was horrific driving conditions, so what on earth it must be like if you're in the cockpit of an aircraft coming in on an airport like that, just horrific. Just horrific.
So the next story, moving on then, is for you,
absolutely.
Matt. This is something that was I think this broke last week. It happened for the first time, but it's quite amazing. And I'm very tempted to go online and order something now, just to see one.
Brace yourselves, everyone. So this is on the travellerstoday.com website, and it was a flying package delivering now happening through Amazon. Yes, I saw this on the news. It made the news, didn't it? Yeah. It was the first ever drone delivery, wasn't it, that took place here in the UK. I think it was delivered in Cambridge, I think, as I'm sure the story will now go into great detail. So Amazon has finally fulfilled its dream to send packages through use of one of its drones. It was one of their desires to send its customers orders in the most convenient way, and is finally happening in the UK. It was announced last Wednesday that Amazon had finally launched their small drone for a delivery trial in the United Kingdom. During their trial delivery, 2 customers get their packages through a flying drone. For the meantime, Amazon focused on a delivery of a minimum of 2 customers in a day, but they are planning to expand their drone delivery services to the entire UK, and might as well include the nearby cities. Drone delivery procedure is done through loading it with the package and allowing it to roll in the rails. Just like the planes, drones also have its takeoff and its full flight to be manoeuvred automatically. That didn't really make much sense, but anyway, all deliveries are being weighed, and for every £5 of package, its estimated time of delivery will be around about 30 minutes. It's now one of the most It is now one of the most hassle ways of sending packages.
Hassle-free, I think that's supposed to be.
Hassle-free ways of sending packages via Amazon. On the record, Amazon's first flying delivery was a television set. What?
Really?
A television set and a bag of popcorn to its customer.
It must have been a rather small TV set.
Yeah, like I say, was it one that would go... Wow. All customers in the UK have the chance of placing their orders since Amazon are open 7 days a week. However, they only prefer the flying package delivery during the day, and very much obviously depend on whether the weather conditions are good. It was the Amazon CEOs in person I'm really sorry. I'm going to have to stop reading this story because the grammar is driving me bananas. I'm very, very sorry, but
so basically, what the story is saying is that Amazon have started their drone delivery service, albeit on a very small level.
Yeah,
there's a weight limit to what they can carry the drones, but.
Well, and I'm very surprised that they reckon.
I want to see them. I want to see one fly past the window here with my Amazon package.
I think it'll be a little while before we do that. I mean, we are now having in this rural part of the world, we are now having Sunday deliveries by Amazon at the moment. But
Short has actually said quite right in the chat room that 30 minutes is a long time for a drone to stay in the air.
It is, absolutely, because he's got to get home as well.
Because the battery life on these is one thing that hasn't kind of progressed very far is battery life with the UAVs and drones and stuff like that. I mean, the ones you buy on the expensive ones you buy online, the drones and stuff, or the UAVs, the battery lives on them are normally sort of around a kind of 10-12 minutes before they run flat. So you can't really go that far with one of these.
So I think you're certainly for the moment you're only going to see. You're only going to get an Amazon drone delivery if you live very close to the depot. Absolutely, yeah. In which case, you might as well just walk around the corner and pick it up.
Unless they devise some sort of air-to-air rebattering, because we call it air-to-air refueling, it'd be air-to-air rebattering. But I can't see that. That's a whole nother technology there.
It's all right. One day they'll invent ways of getting power out of the air, and they can just sort of, absolutely.
Well, do you know when aircraft...
We'll all have cancer as a result of said, electromagnetic fields flying around. But
when aircraft, commercial passenger jets and stuff, the larger, long haul ones, when they have, and even some of the short haul, when they have power failures and stuff, they can drop a turbine fan underneath the body, and it powers most electrical equipment on board the aircraft.
No way! I didn't know that. Didn't know that.
So moving on to, you learn something new every day.
Yeah, absolutely. Every day's a school day. Yeah.
So next story then, obviously the best story on today's show.
Okay, everyone might want to just go and get themselves a cup of tea now.
So this story, unfortunately,
because Carlos is going to go on and on and on about this for months, weeks, years.
This
I think.
Story is on the Mirror's website, but the headline: NASA launches a rocket in midair from a plane flying at 40,000 feet. So the 8 tiny satellites on board the rocket will be used to help predict hurricane winds across the globe. Launching a rocket from a stationary position is hard enough, but NASA has now sent one into orbit from a plane at 40,000 feet. The space agency used an aircraft similar to a commercial jet airliner to launch Pegasus rocket, carrying 8 tiny weather satellites. Once the rocket has been released from the plane, boosters took over and propelled it into orbit. The launch took place on Thursday this week over the Atlantic Ocean and east of Cape Canaveral. And the satellites, as I said, are going to be used to measure ocean winds and hurricanes and tropical cyclones around the world. That is an awesome video, Matt. I'm going to have to download that one. The aircraft itself was a Lockheed L-1011 TriStar, obviously. Matt's just showing you on the video online there now. And the story goes on that they hope this will help develop a better forecasting system for the future of hurricane prediction. And they're really excited because this will be the first time ever that satellites can peer into the middle of hurricanes and predict how strong they'll be when they make landfall. Each satellite is about the size of a microwave oven, and they use GPS receivers to track the wind speed on the surface of the ocean. It's an amazingly reward feeling to spend such an intense and focused time working on CYGNSS, and then in a matter of just a few hours have the entire constellation suddenly come to life, said Dr. Ruff. This was the third attempt at a mid-air launch after the 2 previous attempts were cancelled due to a faulty hydraulic pump and then software issues, something which does plague the poor TriStar now. Bless it, it's an old aircraft now.
All the more reason not to use it.
All the more reason to use it. But no, Matt's put it on the screen as you've had a chance to have a look at the video. But it looks amazing.
It does
look absolutely awesome, and a testament to see the TriStar still being used. You see, I mean, I think this is the only one. I think there's 2. I think in the world now that flight worthy. So. Yeah. No, a nice story. I like that one.
Yeah, I bet you do.
So the last story, it's regarding another low-cost carrier here in the UK, and this one's for you, Matt.
Yes, this is on the BBC News website. By the way, the previous story, if you go to the Mirror and put in TriStar L1011, you'll be able to watch that video. If you are listening to the audio part, take yourself to... but actually, it's actually... I think you'll find it on YouTube as well, so just put... the rocket and L1011, you'll be able to watch that video. It is a cracking video for anyone who's loves their aviation. It's really good to see. Anyway, sorry, yes, the final story in the commercial section today is on the BBC News website, bbc.co.uk, and the headline is EasyJet wants more women in the cockpit. EasyJet, it says it has doubled the number of female pilots in a year after launching a recruitment drive. The Amy Johnson initiative, named after the first female pilot to fly solo from the UK to Australia, prompted a surge in applications. EasyJet said it wants to increase the number further and has set a target for 20% of new pilot cadets to be female. However, it said that target was stretching. women account for just 6% of EasyJet's new pilot intake. The airline has 164 female pilots, of whom 62 are captains, around 14% of the world's total. So that's a very good stat, actually, for EasyJet. They include Kate McWilliams, who's 26, who earlier this year became the world's youngest female captain for a major commercial airline. Based at Gatwick Airport, she flies Airbus A319s and A320s.
Good on her.
To locations including Iceland, Israel and Morocco. Only 3% of commercial airline pilots worldwide are female, and just 450 of them have achieved the rank of captain. That means every female captain in the world could fit into an A380 aircraft. That's an interesting stat, isn't it? Rival airline BA is a rival airline to EasyJet?
Yeah, it could be, really? On the short haul, yeah.
Okay. Has also been trying to recruit more female pilots in the last 2 years. A survey it conducted into why there were so few women applying to fly found reasons ranging from a belief that women could only be cabin crew to being told that flying was a man's job, which I think is a common problem, isn't it, really? Let's be honest, in all walks of life, not just in being a pilot. EasyJet Chief Executive Carolyn McCall said it was hard to think of another high-profile profession where women were so underrepresented. She told the BBC's Today programme that the industry needed to work on stereotyping. I still think there are quite firm attitudes about who flies aircraft, and that's from passengers, even female passengers. She said, "There's a very deep perception here that which is that women don't fly planes." The British Airline Pilots Association Pilots Union, BALPA, said that ability was the most important quality for a pilot, which is something, as a nervous flyer, I'm very pleased to hear about. Wendy Percy, who is the head of membership and career services, said, "It's great to see airlines trying to redress the balance. BALPA believes the only thing that could matter in securing a job as a pilot should be your ability, not your background, financial situation or gender." But it did say that a more balanced workforce could only be a positive thing.
Oh, that's a nice story to finish on. Yeah, we definitely need more women pilots. I think it's a good idea, but it is such a hard. I think it's a hard industry. I think in some ways for it to kind of progress in that way. But it is getting better. I think. Yeah. It definitely is. I think in the US as well, there's a lot more female pilots. So. Definitely. We need our female pilots listeners in this chat room to get flying as soon as possible. Indeed. So Mila's there, she's a pilot. So yeah. Yes. Right. So
okay. So we're just going to take a very quick break. We'll be right back after these short messages.
The Plain Talking UK podcast is a voluntary project that aims to keep you informed with the latest aviation-related stories from newswires across the globe.
Producing our content does cost money though. If you enjoy our show, why not help us keep on the air by making a donation towards the server and website hosting fees through PayPal. Any contributions would be greatly appreciated.
Are you an Amazon user? If so, why not do your shopping through the link on our website? There's no cost to yourself, and Amazon pay us a small referral fee on qualifying purchases.
To find out more about the show and to meet the team, take yourself to our website www.plaintalkinguk.com,
or find us on Facebook at facebook.com/plaintalkinguk, on Twitter via @plaintalkinguk, or get in touch via email on podcast@plaintalkinguk.com. Thanks for listening.
I see we still have some gremlins
left over from, I think we do.
from Thursday. Never mind. Oh, well, never mind. You get the gist.
Perhaps Al left them here.
We are part of the Aviation Media Network is where we were going with that. And then something else started playing, and I have no idea where it started. But it's all part of the fun.
It is part of the fun, yeah. So...
Indeed.
Hello to everyone who's still in the chat room with us then. They're all chatting away with each other.
Good. That's what I like to see.
I know, it's good. It's good. Nice to see Mr. Sebastian. Don Sebastian is still in the chat room with us. Yeah, we were supposed to, just for those who remember from Thursday, we were supposed to have a guest with us today. on Skype. But unfortunately, he's still in the air.
Right.
So
well, I mean, it's a reasonable excuse.
I mean, to be fair, it was a good excuse that he did give, but that he was still in the air flying. So he probably couldn't have joined us this morning, which is a shame.
No, indeed.
But we hope to get something in place for next week's last live show before Christmas. So that should be good.
Okay, we'll see.
I don't know.
We'll see what
I'm
we
going
can
to come
do.
up with something.
Okay, yeah.
Bearing
in mind, I'm going to be in the caravan.
I know.
But it's all right. You know me. I enjoy a technical challenge. So what's the worst that can happen?
I know I might get someone to come in here with the studio with me. That'd be easier.
Oh, yeah, you could do that.
Easier for you, I think.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, we'll see. We'll talk about that in greater detail. Anyway, on the subject of military,
let's do some military news if you're ready.
Yeah, let's go.
So first news story for some military this week on Flight Global's site then. It's one of my favourite aircraft because it's based on a passenger aircraft. But this is on Flight Global. Boeing delivers first upgraded NATO AWACS. So Boeing has delivered to NATO the first of 14 modified Matt's eating mince pies E-3A airborne warning and control systems, the AWACS aircraft, featuring an upgraded cockpit and avionics suite. Oh, well, I'd like to see that. Handed over on the 16th of November, and enhancements were covered by an engineering and manufacturing development contract awarded in 2012. Work on the first of the Boeing 707-derived aircraft, number N1, began in mid-2013, but now the production baseline is established. Future modifications will take less time to complete. The company tells Flight Global that testing of the first aircraft will be performed after phased maintenance and training has been carried out. The second aircraft is also undergoing modification testing, and the third E-3A has just been included and inducted into the process. Boeing says all aircraft are expected to be completed by 2018 under a mere $257 million contract effort.
That's a silly number.
The upgrade work involves some great pictures on there, actually, Matt. The upgrade work involves integration.
Are you telling me to stop chatting to people in the chat room? Right, okay, sorry, go and do your job, Smith.
The integration of new digital flight decks for communication, navigation and surveillance, air traffic management systems and avionics enhancements. This includes installation of 5 Rockwell Collins full glass colour display screens. And the added digital capability will also allow NATO to reduce flight crew by 1 person. The modification work is being carried out at Airbus Defence and Space Manching in Germany's facility. Other suppliers to the programme include EMS, Raytheon, Telephonics and Thales. And God, that does look really awesome. The flight deck looks so much different now when you compare it to the old aircraft, which is quite an old aircraft now. The United States and many other nations have airspace regulations in place that will require digital cockpits in the coming years, Boeing says. By updating the AWACS analog systems to a digital flight deck, US and NATO and AWACS fleets will be able to meet current and identified future air traffic management requirements for flying in worldwide airspace. All of Boeing's AWACS operators have expressed interest in flying their fleets until at least 2030, and the digital modifications will allow them to monitor and manage their airspace for decades to come, Boeing says. The US Air Force is exploring the upgrade of its fleet and began modifying one example to the new digital standard in 2014. Testing on this will complete in 2017, and Boeing hopes a production contract for the fleet may be awarded in mid to late 2017. NATO has a 16-strong fleet of E-3A AWACS, and the fleet's analyzer database shows the US has 31 E-3s, including Bs, Cs and G variants. That is absolutely awesome. That is such a really good picture there, but it just goes to show how much decluttering it does when you take away all those old dials and replace them with what we got there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, colour display screens.
There's just the whole blue screen of death thing still bothers me when it comes to stuff like that, because at least if it's a boring old analog dial, short of you putting a magnet near it.
This is a Boeing, though, so it's not going to affect that. But anyway, moving on, Matt.
Okay, right, okay. Yes, this on the subject of Boeing, this is also on Flight Global, and the headline is Boeing delivers...
That's the same one again. Why was that on there twice?
I don't know.
Okay, click that one
so
off.
It's Northrop. It's still Flight Global. Good news, everyone. Northrop tests the first E2... Excuse Sorry, I've got...
Man flu.
Carlos's man flu, thanks. Yeah. Northrop tests the first E2D with its in-flight refuelling. Northrop Grumman has flown the first E-2D advanced Hawkeye-equipped for in-flight refuelling, the company announced on the 16th of December. The flight comes 3 years after US Navy awarded Northrop a $226 million contract to engineer, manufacture and develop the aerial refuelling system, the carrier-based airborne early warning and control fleet. This takes the E-2D to another level, which will bring more combat persistence in the US and with our allies, says Jane Bishop, Northrop's Vice President for C-2/E-2 programs, in a statement. The E... How do I pronounce those? Is it E-2 or is it just E2D?
The E2D. Yeah.
The E2D.
Yeah,
so
E2D.
Apologies, yes. Sorry, you can tell I'm a complete novice who doesn't know what he's doing. The E2D operates for up to 5 hours after taking off from a carrier without the in-flight refueling system. By contrast, the Japanese Air Self-Defense Force plans to operate the E-2D from land bases, allowing the fleet to take off with a heavier load of fuel than from a carrier and stay airborne for up to 8 hours. 3 aircraft will be modified for testing to be complete in 2018, Northrop says, with production of refueling capable E-2Ds and retrofits beginning later that year. The E-2D features the UHF band Lockheed Martin APY-9, which combines an electronic scanning aperture that mechanically rotates. Nice.
I like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So moving on to the last story, which I've managed to find.
Well done.
I went scoured through the email that I sent to myself. So on Flight Global again.
Yeah, that's right. He gets so few emails, he has to send emails to himself, bless him.
This is one for our Australian listeners and Stephen Grant, who are actually on Thursday's show, weren't they? On Thursday's Christmas special. The headline, RAAF C-27J Spartans achieve IOC. Now, we saw a few of these at RIAT this year. The Royal Australian Air Force has awarded its new Alenia C-27J Spartan tactical transports with initial operating capability. The RAAF has received 4 examples of a total order of 10 aircraft, says the Australian Defence Minister Marise Payne in a statement. The Spartan can access airfields that are unable to support larger transport aircraft, thus increasing the reach for the defence when supporting communities across Australia and throughout the Asia-Pacific region, says Payne. The Spartan can now be tasked on missions to transport 40 passengers or 3 military pallets of cargo, as well as fulfil roles such as light equipment airdrop. Air Marshal Leo Davies adds that the type sits between the RAAF's larger Lockheed Martin C-130Js and the Army's Boeing CH-47 Chinook transport helicopter. In May 2012, Australia placed an order for 10 C-27Js through the US government's Foreign Military Sales FMS program. Produced by Alenia in Italy, the RAAF's C-27Js are delivered in a green condition to L3 in Waco, Texas, where they are converted to the Joint Cargo Aircraft configuration. L3 also provides crew and maintenance training. The work takes 3 months and involves fitting an electronic warfare and infrared countermeasures suite, US standard communications equipment and ballistic matting around the cockpit and loadmaster station. The C-27J succeeds the de Havilland Canada DHC-4 Caribou aircraft under the Air 8000 Phase 2 requirement. Although popular with the RAAF, the obsolescent Caribou was retired in 2009. The C-27J's rival for the requirement was the Airbus military's C-295. One concern with the Caribou has been its inability to operate in hostile airspace due to its lack of self-protection equipment. So it's good news then for Alenia anyway, with some more aircraft coming from them. But
definitely,
Yeah, I saw a few of these actually. They're like a mini Hercules, like a baby Hercules transport aircraft. They do look really smart though, to be fair. So there we go. That's the military news we've got for this week. So there we go, Matt. That's good. Yeah. So have you got?
It's all very efficient when there's nobody distracting us here in the studio.
I know. It was an absolutely crazy show on Thursday, but we thoroughly enjoyed it. It was.
You realise I actually downloaded it and started the editing process this week. You have no idea how long that is going to take me.
Yeah, because it was just over a 3-hour-long show.
It was a 3-hour-long show, and I'm not going to cut much out, but it is going to have a little bit of tidying up.
Don Sebastian said that when he grows up, he wants to be a podcaster.
Does he? Right. Excellent. You're welcome to come and sit in my seat, Don. That's absolutely fine by me.
You can get a flight across here.
Yeah. Every week, if that would be great.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
But going back, so what we got news wise for the next show? Obviously we've got the caption competition.
Yeah, the caption competition.
We're going to cover. If you haven't got your answers in, your humorous captions.
Your deadline, please, for that is Thursday afternoon. The close of play on Thursday, that Carlos has got time to
go through them all. We need to send them off to our adjudicators.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, we do have a. Well, in that case, we better make it Wednesday then. Haven't we, if we want them to respond?
Yeah, so get your funniest captions in by Wednesday. Send them into our email address, podcast@plaintalkinguk.com. Matt's put the picture up on the screen. It is on our Facebook page as well.
For those listening online.
And also Twitter. If you go on there, you'll see the picture on there. And it's on the screen now for you guys in the chat room. If you haven't emailed us yet with your most humorous caption for this picture, which shows me, Captain Al, and Matt at Riyadh earlier this year, taken by
in the media
Dan
Hannington. I hasten to add, we were in the media.
We were in the media centre. Yes.
Indeed, yes. So get those in, please, by the close of play. So we'll say 5 p.m. on Thursday. That's UK time.
Yes.
5 p.m. on Thursday, UK time. And then we're not picking the answers. We've got an independent group of adjudicators based over at the Flying Club in Beccles who are going to go and decide who the winner of our caption competition is. So they're going to see all the captions, and then we will have our three prizes. We'll have our 3 winners, which we will announce on Friday's show. So the show that we record on Saturday, Christmas Eve. So it's the next live show will be on Saturday, the 24th of December.
Yeah, so there we go. Send them in to us at the show. Well, Matt, it's been a rather interesting show, as usual,
absolutely. Yes, a little calmer than Thursday, certainly, but not without its technical problems.
No, and
so sorry about that, Nev.
We're getting so close to Christmas now. We're getting very close to Christmas. Only a few more days left for me to work this week. Finish on Friday. And then, as we said, we will do our last live Christmas show on Saturday. It will either be in the morning or it may be in the afternoon, depending on what Matt wants to do.
Yeah, it'll probably be sort of lunch. Yeah, sort of 2 o'clock. I think would probably be good because that won't leave you with too much time. So it's going to be Friday, the 24th of December at 2 p.m.
Friday or Saturday?
Saturday. I keep saying that.
Honestly,
I'm sorry. Saturday, the 24th of December. I'm so very sorry.
It was only tea.
Yeah, only tea. Yeah, absolutely.
Cup,
maybe that's the problem. But so that's all good.
Oh, Owen's put in the chat room. Only 6 more flights until Christmas.
Oh dear.
Oh, poor Owen.
Have you got any flights before Christmas?
I might have a little dig.
You might have a little.
Depends if the weather's. If the weather's anything like it has been in the UK for the last few days, I won't be going anywhere.
You must be getting close to having to do your cross country.
Yeah, it's not far off now. Yeah, it's scary.
Very exciting. Scary. Very, very exciting. Yeah, so that's where we.
Don't forget to say we've got to say goodbye to Captain Nick, who's here. Look, there he is again.
Bless. That is the most horrific thing I've ever seen in my life. I don't know. Is that why it's in here? I presume Gemma wouldn't allow it in the house anywhere else, presumably.
No. She hates it.
Yes, quite right. Yes, indeed. It's not without its charm. So, yes. Oh, and 3 more standby, so let's hope it's only 6.
Yes.
Right.
So we're going to wrap up then and say a massive thanks to everyone who's joined us this morning in the chat room. Thank you to everyone who's got up and who is still up around the globe. I think some of our our listeners across the pond have gone back to sleep. I think
Yes,
Mike has fell asleep.
I don't blame him. Yes, absolutely.
But no, have a great Sunday. Have a great day here. Hope all your roast dinners go down a treat.
And we will, of course, as I say, we will be back next Saturday, the 24th of December, where I will be in my caravan in Clacton and Carlos will be here in the studio. So let's see how that goes, everyone. What's the worst that can happen?
Dr. Pepper.
Indeed, don't answer that.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Anyway, so we're going to close the show now and say don't forget to join us next Saturday for our last live Christmas show with the results of the caption competition, and hopefully we'll all be on fine form for next week.
Well, that is the plan. So from all of us here in the studio, it is a sort of we're all a bit tired, I think, today, aren't we? I'm very sorry. It's not been up to its usual standard, but anyway, there we are. Never mind.
We got the show done.
We have indeed.
Yeah.
So from all of us here in the studio, have a good run up to Christmas, and we'll see you all next Saturday. Cheers, guys.
Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.